कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवर धारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवर धारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय यशोदनंदना जय ब्रज जन रंजना जय यशोदनंदना जय ब्रज जन रंजना जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव हमारी की जय। नरसिंह भगवान की जय। पंच तत्व की जय। षड गोस्वामी की जय। गुरु परंपरा की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री गुरुदेव की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके bhaktir naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, he is established as an irrevocable fact. So Hare Krishna, Prabhu's Matagis. Welcome all of you for this Srimad Bhagavatam session. Thank you very much for joining and keeping the appointment with Krishna. So today I have been giving the opportunity to glorify Krishna with verse number 30 from 4th canto, 11th chapter. I'll just share the screen. So it's 4:11, 30, 30. त्वं प्रत्यगात्मनि तदा भगवत्यनन्त आनन्दमात्र उपपन्न समस्तशक्तौ भक्तिं विधाय परमां क्षणकैरविद्या ग्रन्थिं विभेत्स्यसि ममाम् इति प्ररूढम् त्वं प्रत्यगात्मनि तदा भगवत्यनन्त आनन्दमात्र उपपन्न समस्तशक्तौ भक्तिं विधाय परमां शनकैरविद्या ग्रन्थिं विवेत्स्यसि ममाहम् इति प्ररूढम् त्वं प्रत्यगात्मनि तदा भगवत्यनन्त आनन्दमात्र उपपन्न समस्तशक्तौ भक्तिं विधाय परमां शनकैरविद्या ग्रन्थिं विवेत्स्यसि ममाहम् इति प्ररूढम्. Any two of you can recite if you want. Try.
May I, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mother.
त्वं प्रत्यगात्मनि तदा भगवत्यनन्त आनन्दमात्र उपपन्न समस्तशक्तौ भक्तिं विधाय परमां शनकैरविद्या ग्रन्थिं बिभेत्स्यसि ममाहम् इति प्ररूढम्. Hare
Thank you, Mother.
Krishna.
Very nice. You were very nice. Anybody else wants to? One more.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Shall I try,
Yes, Mother.
Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
त्वं प्रत्यगात्मनि तदा भगवतनन्त आनन्दमात्र उपपन्नसमस्तशक्तौ भक्तिं विधाय परमं जनकैरभिद्या ग्रन्थिं बिभेत्स्यसि ममाहम् इति प्ररूढम्.
Thank you, Mother. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Go to word meaning synonyms. Tvam, you. Pratyak Atmani, unto the Super Soul. Tada, at that time. Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anante, who is unlimited. Ananda Matre, the reservoir of all pleasure. Upapanna, possessed of. Samasta, all. Shaktau, potencies. Bhaktim, devotional service. Vidhaya, by rendering. Paramam, supreme. Shanakaihi, very soon. Avidya, of illusion. Granthim, the knot. Vibetsasi, you will undo. Mama, my. Aham, I. Iti, thus. Prarudham, firmly fixed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation and purport. Thus, regaining your natural position and rendering service unto the Supreme Lord, who is the all-powerful reservoir of all pleasure, and who lives in all living entities as a super soul, you will very soon forget the illusory understanding of I and my. Purport. Dhruva Maharaj was already a liberated person because at the age of 5 years, he had seen the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But even though liberated, he was, for the time being, afflicted by the illusion of Maya, thinking himself the brother of Uttama in the bodily concept of life. The whole material world is working on the basis of I and mine. This is the root of attraction to the material world. If one is attracted by this root of illusory conceptions, I and mine, he will have to remain within this material world in different exalted or nasty positions. By the grace of Lord Krishna, the sages and Lord Manu reminded Dhruva Maharaj that he should not continue this material conception of I and mine. Simply by devotional service unto the Lord, his illusion could be eradicated without difficulty. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutabadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Vishaka Tamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhayeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yonta Pravishya Mama Vacham Imam Prasuptam Sanjeevayati Akila Shakti Dharaswadhamna Anyam Chahasta Charana Shravanatvagadin Prana Namo Bhagavate Dushaya Tubhyam. Mukam Karoti Vacharam Angam Langeti Virim Yatkarvatam Amante Paramanandamatam Tinatayanam. It's another beautiful verse which we have to recite every day. Swastyastu Vishwasya Kala Prasidatam ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं वितोदिया मनश्च भद्रं भजता ददोक्षजे कावेशतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी. Translation: May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga, for by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Shri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of Him. So, Hare Krishna, Purus Mata is so very wonderful verse, and this very nice chapter also, which is being discussed every day by different devotees. So, that's actually the previous verse. We are discussing the 30th verse. In the 29th verse, the purport, Prabhupada says, see, Lord Manu wanted to change the vision of Dhruva Maharaj, right? Because he was killing all the Yakshas, because his brother was killed. So he wanted to change the vision of Dhruva Maharaj, who was looking upon the Yakshas as different from him or his enemies. Actually, no one is an enemy or a friend. Everyone is passing through different types of bodies under the law of karma. But as soon as one is situated in a spiritual identity, then he does not see the differentiation in terms of this law. So Dhruva Maharaj was advised by Lord Manu to see with that vision. And he was specifically advised to do so because he was a great devotee and, and should not have looked upon other living entities with ordinary vision. So now in this verse, Prabhupada very beautifully says, no, the purport, the whole material world is working on the basis of I and mine. And this is the root of attraction to the material world. If one is attracted by this root of illusory conceptions of I and mine, he will have to remain within this material world in different exalted or nasty positions. So that is for so I and mine. Because of that I and mine only we are in this material world, right? But Prabhupada further says in that purport, by the grace of Lord Krishna, the sages and Lord Manu reminded Dhruva Maharaj that he should not continue this material conception of I and mine. Because he was in the bodily concept of life. He was thinking of Yaksha as his brother, right? In the bodily conception. He was killed, so he wanted to kill everybody else. He said simply by devotional service unto the Lord, his illusion could be eradicated without difficulty. Let us try to understand this verse, how it can be imbibed and absorbed with practical applications. See, in Bhagavad Gita 7.4, it's a beautiful verse. Bhumirapo analo vayuhu khammano buddhirevacha ahankarayati yamme bhinna prakriti ashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these 8 constitute my separate material energies. Pancham Mahabhutas, 5 great elements. Bhut, B-H-U-T, Bhut. Bhut means they exist in the creation. And that is why they are known as Bhut, Pancha Mahabhut. So these 5 things are very easy to understand and very easy to remember also. See, in the first line, 3 out of the 5 Pancha Mahabhut are there. The first line. They are Bhumi, Apa, Anala. So these are the 3 given in the first line. Bhumi, Apa, Anala. So Bhumi is there. Bhumi is Prithvi, right? Earth. So Earth is definitely there. And apaha, water is there. Anala, fire. Fire is also there. And then and vayu, wind is also there. So these are the four great elements, and that is given in the first line. Bhumi, apa, analo, vayu. Bhumi, apa, analo, vayu. So first line, it is given in the first line. Then in the second line, come or ether is mentioned. Come. That is the fifth great element. See, apart from these five great elements, no, there is something else which is present in the creation. Kham mano buddhi evacha. The second line, right? Man means mind. Buddhi means intelligence. So mind and intelligence are also included in the creation of the material manifestation. So now we have 7 elements. And again, there is one more in the third line. Ahankara. Very easy to understand, right? Aham means I, and kara means karoti. Aham, I, kara means karoti. Karoti. So I am doing. I do. I have come to Dubai. I have come to Singapore. I am earning money. Aham karoti. I do. Right? Actually, that is not our position. This is illusory energy. So when we are under the spell of the illusory energy, we speak like this. Ahankar. And that is why Ahankar is known as false pride. See, pride is there, but it is false. Very easy to understand. But there is false pride. And that is why it is not our position actually. Then the question is, what is our position? If aham karoti, I do, I am doing. If aham karoti is not our position, then there should be something else regarding us. And it's very nicely said. Kim karoti. Kim karoti. What can I do for you? I have come to you and I want to serve you. So I'm asking, Kim karoti. Kim means what? And karoti, what can I do for you? So we go to Krishna and ask him, how can I serve you? This is our constitutional position, not aham karoti. So we are actually kinkaras, not ahankar. So these two words, right? So we have to remember this. So this gives the definition of the illusory energy, ahankar. See, we are not doing and we believe that I am doing. That is illusory energy. Now, if you think wrongly, that is maya. It is not there, but you are thinking it is there. That is maya. Illusory energy, it forces us to utter this aham karoti, and we become very proud. And our chest becomes choda. I am doing it. Right? Shastra, very nice word, no? It comes from shasan. Shasan we have heard, no? That which rules the society, is known as shastra. And shastra is ruling all over us. The ruling is that nihashvase nahi vishwasa. Nihashvase nahi vishwasa. This is shastra. And it is correct, right? See, nobody can refute this. See, many times we have seen nihashvase nahi vishwasa. That means I don't believe in my breath. That's what it means. That you see, many times we have seen man stands and suddenly he collapses. As soon as the breath stops, we don't have any vital energy. Everything comes to an end. So this is very nicely given. Nihashvase nahi vishwasa in Kevalashtakam. It is given in Kevalashtakam. Nihashvase nahi vishwasa kadaruddho bhavishyati kirtaniya mato bhalyad hare namaiva kevalam. It says, remember that our final breath may come at any time. No matter if we are old and sick or in our youthful prime. So young and old alike should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra incessantly because it is the only truth in this world. So nihashvase nahi vishwasa kadarudo bhavishyati. When it will stop, we don't know. And what is our duty? Kirtaniya mato balyat. Whether young or old, please engage yourself in glorification of Krishna. Hare Nama eva kevalam. See, fortunately, we are all here, right? In the programs and Zoom. We are seeing each other and discussing these eternal things. Otherwise, people may see each other and simply ask, how are you? How are your children? How is your wife? Wife is not good at all, but simply you have to tell she's all right. Since the time I got married, I'm very happy. but the face reveals something other, some other thing. Same is true with the wife also. My husband is very good. She doesn't mean a single word. Please don't mistake me. This is not about wife or husband, okay? It is a man, it is in material existence. Material existence is like that. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam, full of miseries. And the only comfort is that it is temporary. Otherwise, we don't know really what will happen. And that is why we must come to the pages of Bhagavad Gita and let Bhagavad Gita rule our life. And then the life will have some meaning. Otherwise, it is all miserable. And those who want to be miserable, we can't help them, correct? Let them be miserable. They enjoy their miseries and we enjoy them more. If someone is suffering, we are very happy. Not the devotees, just the general, in the material way of life, right? If someone is suffering, they're very happy. See, as it is, we are envious. And we don't want anyone to be happy except ourselves. But we don't have any, and I have to have an idea that unless everybody is happy, I cannot be happy. That is absent in our mind. And Shastras say that unless everyone around you is happy, you can never be happy. And that we don't know. And Shastras insist that we should always chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram. Prabhupada said that if you're not able to know or see God, you're not able to do anything about the spiritual, then simply chant his names. The whole world is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. But we think that which the whole world is chanting, I will not chant. This is ahankar. Whole world is getting peace by chanting Krishna's names. So why are you suffering? Because you prefer suffering. What is to be done then? Simply chant the names. If you don't know what to chant, I will give you the holy names. Please chant. Why are you ignoring? Right? See, our pious duty is to guide the younger ones. And you will not be able to guide unless you follow seriously yourselves. So without any concoctions and without any delay, you should start following these things immediately. And it is very easy. See, even if you don't have any this japamala with you, you have your fingers with you always, right? You don't forget to carry your fingers. Do you? So whenever you are in difficulty, start chanting immediately. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And Prabhupada says, if you chant sincerely, these things are very easy to remember. Bhumi Apo Analo Vayu, first line. Kham Mano Buddhirevacha, second line. Ahankarati Yamme, third line. And Bhinna Prakriti Rashtada. Bhinna Prakriti. So Bhumi Apo Analo Vayu, Kham. These are the 5 gross material things, right? Bhumi I can see. It is gross. Bhumi, Prithvi. Earth. Anana I can see. Apa I can see, right? So but there are 3 subtle elements. Man, Buddhi, Ahankar. Man is mind. And you can't see it. You just think, right? Now, if you just think, where is my mind? You will not see it anywhere. But it is very powerful. There is no factual existence of the mind. But even then, mental level is very powerful, right? But we don't know what level we are running after. But mental level, we can immediately tell that this is a madman. He will speak nonsense always. Those who don't have Krishna's touch, those who have never had darshan of Krishna, those who have never heard about Krishna, they are just on the mental level. And they will simply talk that I am the one, I am very powerful. It's all about I and mind. And this I and mind is regarded as a destructive energy. Factually, it doesn't exist. There is no existence of the mind. So how can it exist? But you should know that mind is very powerful, right? See, actually, the Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and all, they give us sanity. Otherwise, as it is, we are insane. Because we don't know the Shastras. And in the Vedic families, Unknowingly, they are following the Shastras. And Srila Prabhupada wanted to re-establish these traditions which we have forgotten. We can see, our parampara, like our forefathers, grandfather, parents, they are following. To some extent, we are following. We are not now following the full things which our forefathers used to do. Some we are following, some we are not following. And the next generation, we can see hardly anything. So we just cannot imagine the future. So Prabhupada says the families which don't have the traditions, they cannot be together for a long time. Very powerful statement. We can relate this right nowadays. We don't have the family. Now it's known as nuclear family. Right? It's not a joint family. So there are so many Kali Yuga forces working on them. Kali Yuga cannot touch a person who is sober enough to understand his own position and go to the Shastras. See, Shastras is non-different from Krishna. And if there is Krishna, Kali cannot stand. But there is always possibility that as soon as you forget Shastra or Krishna, means Kali Yuga is waiting. See, you have your own experience, right? So far as you are with Krishna, some activity regarding Krishna will go on. There is no fighting. So as soon as that activity stops, we come back to fighting. So for our own interest, we have to come to these pages and try to understand. Otherwise, we are always entangled into hating each other, harming each other, and whatnot. As soon as two persons meet, no, they don't talk about themselves or anything about themselves. They talk about the third person. And nothing good also. This is our tendency. So Prabhupada said, you should give up this tendency for good. And if you have time, please come to me through the pages of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. This is what Prabhupada is saying. So in the 7.4, this verse which is moving up, right? We have seen 5 great elements and 3 subtle elements, right? Again, you have to remember that at the time of death, if our devotional service is not complete, and because of these inabilities in our life, then we have to forsake this Pancha Mahabhut body. We have to leave this body. And because our devotional service is not complete, according to our karma, karmana deva netrena, by the force of our activities under the supervision of Krishna, we have to accept another body. Jantur deho upapattaye, 331.1 Bhagavatam says. So the creation of another body depends upon these two factors. So whatever karma we have performed now, we have to bear the reactions. And accordingly, we get the body under the supervision of Krishna. So he decides that. Krishna decides, oh, this one will be happy in a pig's body. So come on, go. In the assembly line, pig's body. I remember in one of my Guru Maharaj's classes, he was telling about this pig's body, right? He said, okay, now our pig body is there, right? So there is a training. At the moment, we are in a human body. So we know only the human activities. Correct. In pig's body, we are trained to know the pig's activities. And that training is there only for a few moments. Not like in the seminar and all. But it is very painful. From human body, human habits, we have to go to the pig's body, pig habits. And as soon as the soul is put into the pig's body, the training begins in Yamaraj's place. And it is very painful. Can you imagine human being going into pig body and behaving like a pig? Then you have to get used to the gutter water. Training is there. And then we think, oh, this is sweet, this is rasgulla, this is gulab jamun, this is shikand. At the moment, you are attracted to this rasgulla, gulab jamun, but gutter water is like shikand for you when you are in a pig's body. So when the body changes, the funny thing is we have to take these subtle elements along with it. That is man, buddhi, ahankar. Mind, intelligence, wants to go. These three always accompany us. And that is how we see in this existence also, few living entities with very little explanation, they take to the culture of Krishna consciousness. Whereas few living entities tell, oh, at the moment I'm busy, I will take up this bhakti later when I'm free. We can see, so many forces are working on us. People will say, hey, don't go there. That Krishna, if you go to Krishna conscious program and all, chanting, please don't go there. What is there? Bhagavad Gita always, same Bhagavad Gita always. It is same because fact is always same. It is same because fact is always same. Neshvase nahi vishwasa. So who can change this? The breath, any moment, right? Nobody can change. See, your body depends upon three bhutas, three of the five great elements: Bhumi, Apa, and another, earth, water, and fire. You cannot change it. Is it in your hands to change it? Can you say, I don't want fire, I only want vayu, air? Can you say? You can't. This is not your choice. And you cannot say, oh, is this my father? I don't want this father. I will change. It is Krishna's selection. Krishna has selected your father and mother. You may feel that it is not your suitable father, but it's none of your concern. So these things can never be changed, and this is mind, intelligence, and falsehood. Krishna knows the tendencies of the mind, and he knows that this living entity will only be suitable for this family. So he incites, that is Daiva Netrena. And as soon as you come to this point, then we understand the importance of mind, intelligence, ego. See, to be very frank, up to this level, everything is material. Whatever you think in your mind, no, whatever you ascertain by intelligence, whatever you give out in ahankar, attitude, pride, these are all material. And Krishna is completely transcendental. He transcends. He has nothing to do with this. This is the position of Krishna. And that is why it is said, see the last line, no, 7.4, it says, Itiyam me bhinna. I am completely separate from these. These are my energies, separate energies. So energy and energetic cannot be separated. But as soon as the living entities, he stops hearing about Krishna, he is rejected by Krishna. See, sometimes we have a business, we employ some people. If he serves us nicely, then we keep him. And instead, if a person comes and asks us to get up from our chair and he occupies it, the next moment we'll say, you're not wanted here, get out. This is what Krishna's thing. And as soon as you try to disobey Krishna, in other words, even the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad Shastras, then you're thrown out. Thrown out means you're left at the mercy of illusory energy. Then all the miseries are there. So in this position, with Krishna, with Shastras, miseries are also very nice. We are attached to Krishna, so we ignore the miseries. See, as soon as you don't entertain the miseries, as soon as you don't entertain the miseries, they may be there for a while, but they just go away. It will go away, miseries will go away, or we will go away. Death is only once. So why to die before the death? Better die only once and don't think about it. See, the less we are attracted to these things, no, more we are attracted to the Shastras. Then you can guide the future generation. Otherwise, it is a suicidal process. If we are not going to do anything for the kids, for their spiritual progress, then they're just going to be royal edition of animals. So we have to just follow these things and just remember this verse. Bhumi apo analo vayu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyame bhinna prakriti rashtata. Means ashta means 8. So these are the 8 elements, and bhinna means they are separated. Because they are separated, we are really completely separated. And as soon as you are separated, you have to suffer your own karmas. See, the children know, as far as they obey their parents, their karmas are covered by the parents. As soon as they stop obeying, they have to fight with their own karmas. This is the case with us also. So as soon as we are attached to Krishna, our karmas are under his control. There is no reaction. And if there is no reaction, and if there is reaction, it is very mild, small doses. But as soon as you go independent, then you have to face the consequences, and it is very horrible. We lose our health. We lose our thinking power. We lose our thinking about the correct direction. We lose our own existence. And we think that I am enjoying. And that is again Maya. You know, please know the definition of enjoyment. Enjoyment is enjoyment with Krishna. Enjoyment is enjoyment with Krishna. Without him, it is all miseries. This is the simple truth. See, how to control the mind. See, there was a question to my Guru Maharaj long back. How to control the mind as, although it doesn't have a gross existence, still it is very powerful. So how to control? The response was, it is true that we cannot locate the mind as it has the subtle existence, but it acts. This is the thing. As soon as we come to this fact, then we try to learn to ignore the mind for the bad activities. That is what Ambarish Maharaj was doing. Ambarish Maharaj says, Savai Manaha Krishna Padara Vindayoho. That is the best use of the non-existence mind, which is very powerful. Whether we accept or don't accept the existence or non-existence of the mind, still the truth is that it is very powerful, right? Mind doesn't exist at all. But even then, it reveals itself in our activities. So those activities must be dedicated to Krishna. This is the essence. And this should be clear to all of us. See, just sit silently and try to locate your mind and intelligence. It is not possible to locate it. But even then, we are not able to locate it. But even then, all our activities are pervaded by our mind and intelligence. And the result is ahankar. So the mind which functions materially will give you the pride. You won't be able to have the humble attitude. Humble attitude is the result of subduing this mind and trying to convert his activities to please Krishna. This is what we are to require. See in Bhagavatam 11, 26, 19, and 22, wonderful verses. It says, the translation, one can never decide whose property the body actually is. Does it belong to one's parents who have given birth to it, to one's wife who gives it pleasure, or to one's employer who orders the body around? Is it the property of the funeral pyre, or of the dogs and jackals who may ultimately devour it? Is it the property of the indwelling soul who partakes in its happiness and distress? Or does the body belong to intimate friends who encourage and help it? Although a man never definitely ascertains the property of the body, he becomes most attached to it. This material body is a polluted material form heading towards a lowly destination. Yet, when a man stares at the face of a woman, he thinks, what a good looking lady, what a charming nose she's got, and see her beautiful smile. So these two verses ask a very important question. The question is, whose property is the body? Very important. So who actually the body belongs to? In this material world, as a devotee, the standard answer from us is the body belongs to Krishna. But the truth of the matter is we behave in such a way, very often it looks as if the body actually does not belong to Krishna. It actually appears to belong to us. So all our problems start because of I and mine. So the whole basis of our entire problem, even when we are in devotional service, it begins and ends with I and mine. The moment I think this is my program, or this is your program, this is that group's program, or this is these people's program, it comes down to I and mine. See, Arjuna was told by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 11.33, you please remember one thing. You can wake up, you can take the kingdom, you please run the kingdom, you please enjoy the flourishing kingdom because you have earned it, because it is part of your duty. But after you do all this, you remember one thing. Krishna is telling to Arjuna, remember one thing. Mayevaite nihataha purvameva. Please remember that by my arrangement, everyone is being killed. Whoever you have shot an arrow has not died because of you. Whoever you have shot an arrow at has actually died because I have arranged prior to the shooting of your arrow. So if that is the case, then what value do you have? Actually speaking, we have no value. And that is the starting point to answer this question. What property, whose property is the body? See, factually speaking, we should genuinely believe that except for Krishna and Guru, this body has no value. These properties have no value. So whatever we think belongs to us is all valueless. But if we believe that, then we should remember the last line of Bhagavad Gita 11.33, which says, become nimitta matram. And he purposefully calls Arjuna as Savyasachi. Savyasachi means one who is expert at shooting the arrows. And now he's telling, oh, it is no use. So Arjuna is being told by Krishna very gently. He's being reminded, Krishna, my dear Arjuna, you may be very powerful, but please remember one thing. You may be the best person to shoot an arrow. The arrow will find its mark, but your capacity and your ability is borrowed. It is loaned out because it is coming from Krishna. So if Krishna does not sanction, see, Arjuna may be the best Sabyasachi, but it has no value. So actually speaking, whatever capacity you and I have, that capacity is coming from Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.8, Paurusham Nrishu, I am ability in man. So if Krishna is the ability in man, everything that belongs to man is Krishna's property. This is what Krishna is telling us. See, as devotees, we may have given up many gross things, but the subtle capturing of this is my property, this is to my credit, that will kill our devotional service because it is a subtle form of I and mine. So this identification is very dangerous. See, as devotees, the reason why we become very upset with each other is because we are working on I and mine principle. Srimati Kunti Maharani in 1828, she says, Bhutanam yan mita kalihi. She says there is only one reason why the living beings have this differentiation attitude, dissension. Why we fight? We fight because of social intercourse. Social intercourse means I and you appear to behave like devotees. Okay. I and we both behave like devotees. But the moment we speak, the moment we act, we do everything and anything except how we should be as a devotee. Instead of saying, Prabhuji, this is yours, we say, Prabhuji, everything is yours. But actually, this is all mine. We look at the devotee and say, Prabhu, you are a wonderful devotee. You are so nice devotee. Everything is nice, but this you should improve. However, what you did is wrong. Unfortunately, what you spoke was wrong. So my Guru Maharaj you always used to say, why you must have that but? Why you must have that unfortunately? Why you must have that however? Why can the sentence end very nicely with a full stop? Because in our heart, we believe that we are part of this body. It is very subtle, but it kills our devotional service. And that is why we fight. That is why we have misunderstandings. That is why we have quarrels. That is why our vision cannot see the same thing. We are all supposed to come here to glorify Krishna. Yet why is it that we should have differences? It is because we do not know who this body belongs to. We identify with this body, our yantra, vehicle, as ourselves. And because we think this yantra belongs to us, we cannot see ourselves as nimitta matram. So the real key to peace is actually this point. Whose property does the body belong to? This body is a property of Krishna and the devotees you are trying to serve. Very nice point. Guru Maharaj said, this body is a property of Krishna and the devotees you are trying to serve. Very nice point. We always say this body is the property of the Lord, right? But we forget to extend it to say Lord means devotees. See, if you firmly believe that this body is actually the property of the devotees, which means we use our time, we use our efforts, we use our capacity to serve the devotees. Then we should not expect that they must decorate this dead body with praises. Then we should not expect anything from them. Oh, Prabhu, thank you very much. We must just serve them without any expectation, unmotivated, right? Whether they praise or not, that is their lookout. It is up to them to be grateful to the work that we do. But the moment we expect that this body must be decorated, then we are thinking that this body is ours. Expectation kills the devotional service. See, every time you expect, when you come for a program, you will be disappointed. Is it not true? Every time you expect something from a devotee, you must become disappointed. Because first your expectations are so high in the sky. You are in cuckoo's land. You expect the best from everyone. But what about your part? We expect something from people, but we forget that what we are supposed to deliver. That part is conveniently put aside, right? We say, Prabhuji, I have no ability. How to expect anything from me? It's a very clever argument, no? It does not help in the devotional service. So whose property is this body? This I and mind begin to manifest by us trying to take an object, exploit it for our enjoyment. And when we cannot get that object, we become frustrated. Right? So I and mind begins to manifest when we try to take an object, exploit it for our enjoyment, and when we cannot get that object, we become frustrated. See, recently, maybe sometime back, in one of the news long back, I read that doctors have found out that people who very often use the words me, mine, myself, I, they are more prone to heart attacks. So why should we cause harm to our own self, thinking we can be the sole enjoyer? The way out of this is to have one interest, only one interest, to satisfy the senses of Krishna. See, just as in a family, the interest of the family members is one. The entire human society should only have one interest. All living entities should have only one desire, and that is to satisfy Krishna, who is the supreme enjoyer. And thus there will be no clash of interest. There is a very beautiful verse in Bhagavatam 3:13-49, where, while describing the glorious appearance of Lord Varaha, Maitreya Muni speaks beautifully that gives a lot of confidence to our otherwise depressed mind. Tasmin prasanne sakalashishan prabhu kim durlabhamta biralam lavatmabhi ananya drishtya bhajatam guhashaya swayam vidatte swagatim parapara. Please hear the translation. Very nice. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nothing remains unachieved when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased with someone. By transcendental achievement, one understands everything else to be insignificant. One who engages in transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfection stage by the Lord Himself, who is seated in everyone's heart. So this verse gives a complete nutshell definition of devotional service. The goal of our devotional service is to please the Supreme Lord Krishna and nothing else. So pleasing the Supreme Lord is the most easiest thing to do, and at the same time also the most difficult thing to do. It is easy for those whose only concern is to how to please Krishna. It is difficult for those who are still not convinced about this fact that Krishna is the only object for pleasure. So for those of us who are convinced that simple and sincere devotional service is the only way to please Krishna, there is no question of dissatisfaction in this process. So such great souls consider everything else to be insignificant. So Srila Prabhupada very beautifully says in this purport of this wonderful verse, please go to this 3:13-49. He says, for such a devotee, there is nothing valuable to be achieved by the Lord's service. If one serves faithfully, there is no possibility of frustration because the Lord Himself takes charge of the devotee's advancement. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart and He knows the devotee's motive and arranges everything achievable. In other words, the pseudo devotee who is anxious to achieve material gains cannot attain the highest perfect stage because the Lord is in knowledge of his motive. One merely has to become sincere in his purpose, and then the Lord is there to help in every way. So a devotee's advancement does not depend on the external factors like victory and defeat. It depends on how much the Lord is pleased with us. See, sometimes, very important point to understand, sometimes the Lord may be pleased with our defeat. And a pure devotee will be ready to get defeated because the Lord is happy to see that. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we have the example of Bhishmadeva and Vritarasura, who are ready to be defeated. Why? Because the Lord wanted it. As a result, even after they were defeated in the battlefield, they were not frustrated because their purpose was only to please Krishna and not victory in the battlefield. That is why we can see that even after the defeat, Vritarasura very happily attained the abode of Krishna, whereas Indra, even though he was victorious and got back his Swarga, still he was not satisfied. Now, because the Lord indicated to demigods more than once from the beginning of this incident that he is pleased only with devotional service and nothing else. So when the demigods approached the Lord to save them from Vritrasura, the Lord beautifully says in 6:9:48, He says, He's telling, O best of the intelligent demigods, although it is true that nothing is difficult for one to obtain when I am pleased with him, a pure devotee, whose mind is exclusively fixed upon me, he does not ask me for anything but the opportunity to engage in devotional service. Only that he asks. So giving up our ego is the most important task for us. We can give up anything and everything, but not our ego. And what we are not willing to give up, that is the first thing Krishna will want us to give up. Right? What we are not willing to give up is the ego. So that is the first thing Krishna wants us to give up. See, Arjuna was not willing to fight against Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya because of his attachment for them. And Krishna exactly made him do what he wanted him to do. He made Arjuna fight against the dearmost grandfather and teacher. So when it comes to devotional service, there is no question of I and mine. So then where is the question of I? I like, my pleasure. It is all about Krishna's like and Krishna's pleasure. So this path of devotional service is only for the brave persons, not for the cowards. Because in this path, we have to first give our head and then take his name. So this is the standard that Krishna expects from his devotees. So let us pray to Guru, Prabhupada and Krishna that henceforth we perform our devotional service only for their pleasure and not for ours. See, Srimad Bhagavatam describes the persons who are materially engrossed and too much attached in 1:13:17. This is the main impediment. Insurmountable eternal time imperceptibly overcomes those who are too much attached to family affairs and are always engrossed in their thought. Very nice verse. Describing time. This is beautiful verse describing time. Evam graheshu saktanam. Graha is actually not house only, but those who are attached to the material aspects of life. See, it is very difficult to give up the attachment. However, we try to get rid of them again and again because since the last so many years in this life and previous life, we run after the same thing. As a dog, also, we had our own place. When the other dog came, we were barking at him. This is how we are attached to our own things. Those who are really too much attached, saktana means to be attracted too much. They become pramattana. They become mad because this is not ours and we are claiming it as ours. This flat, doesn't belong to you. And you try to claim it as mine. And for that, you have to struggle very hard. Even then, you may not get it. So this is the main thing. And then you create so much trouble. See, now you can use the flat very nicely, okay? But as soon as you start claiming that this flat is mine, then you have to struggle very hard because it is not yours. And you create so much disturbance in the atmosphere by false claim. This is what Srila Prabhupada said, lording over material nature. It does not belong to us. And we have to prove that it belongs to us. Or somehow or the other, we just decide that it is mine. So Krishna also puts so many impediments into it. If you claim like this, it is not yours, then you cannot improve your modes. That which is not yours, you are claiming it is mine. So Krishna is not allowed to use it. So thank Krishna that at least you are able to use it. But we are not satisfied. No santosh, no satisfaction is there. This is the main trouble. Main impediment in the way of our improving devotional service. And because we are just stuck at the rajas, passion, hardly we go to the sattva or goodness. See, the common mass of people, they do not come up to the sattva. They are very much entangled in rajas. So they are working very hard and they want to enjoy. And as soon as they want to enjoy, they cannot enjoy. See, the hand cannot enjoy the food. If the hand decides that it will chew the food in the hand only, it will be without a life and all the labor will be waste. And it is unnecessarily trying to chew because it does not have the capacity to chew. Hand, right? Instead, the hand has to, what it has to do? It has to cooperate with the mouth to put the morsel of food into the mouth. And then the hand will get the life. So this is a very easy example to understand. But people ignore Krishna. They forget that Krishna is the Supreme Purusha. Enjoy is Krishna. Bhagavad Gita 5.29. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachyati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme law of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. So Prabhupada says, this is the formula for peace. Because we have forgotten that Bhoktaram, the beneficiary is completely different. We try to be Bhoktaram. Sorry. Just another couple of minutes. See, we try to be Krishna. As soon as we try to be Krishna, right, he kicks us out from the throne because we want to sit on the altar. This is more of ignorance. And if you are not able to sit on the throne, then we work very hard from morning to night so that we will get the throne somewhere. Prabhupada used to tell that, see, donkeys, no, they don't want to work actually. But the owner of the donkey, what he does, he fits a carrot in front of him. So he's thinking, walking, walking. So I am getting the carrot, I am getting it. He never gets it. This is Rajas. So a good change in our behavior is impossible on our own strength. So B for Bhagavatam, B for Bhagavad Gita, B for behavior. It can be done only on the strength of the blessings of Guru, Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. So let us pray to them with deep sincerity every day morning to give us the strength to practice good behavior for the day. And also pray to Lord Krishna, as Bhakti Vinod Thakur very nicely prays in Gopinath. Oh Gopinatha, after sitting down in the core of my heart and subduing my mind, please take me to you. In this way, the horrible dangers of this world will disappear. You are Rishikesha, the Lord of the senses. Seeing me so helpless, please control these senses of mine from this dark and perilous worldly existence. We may not be pure, but we must try to change ourselves for the better. So the sincere attempt, will attract Krishna. This is what we have to understand from this wonderful verse. We'll stop here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Ta Gautam Vancha Kalpataru Kripa Sindhu Bhaya Vacha Patitanam Pavani Vaishnavam Antakodi Vaishnavam. Thank you for this Mataji, for this opportunity to glorify the Lord and purify ourselves. If you have any questions or anything to share, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you for the lovely session. I have two takeaways from this session. Prabhuji, may
Yes,
I share?
Yes. Yeah, please.
Lose yourself and find Krishna, and let go of false ego. Surrender to Krishna to find eternal peace.
Jai. Beautiful. Very nicely put, Mataji. Summarize.
Hare
Very
Krishna.
good. Very good. Thank you. Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. The class was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Just thank you for reminding us that Krishna is the Bhoktaram, and only if we realize that, we'll have permanent Shanti. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
And I like that flat. We think that the flat belongs to us, but actually doesn't belong to us. From the time I came into Krishna consciousness, if today you brought out this, that the flat belongs to us and flat actually doesn't belong to us. I have a nameplate on the wall of my flat. So for a long time I've been thinking, I should remove that nameplate. Now I better remove it.
Mataji, that is why they put it as Krishna Bhavan. I remember.
Yeah, Krishna, yeah.
Krishna Bhavan or Krishna's home and all, not ours.
So,
Sometimes, yes, I
Mataji,
see
sometimes some people have the habit of naming the houses after gods so that they constantly can remind themselves that it is God's home and not.
yeah, Krishna Krupa or something like that.
Correct. Very nice.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Also, because of I and mine, we are in this material world. It's simply mind-blowing.
True.
Nothing
Now,
is
if you see maybe you should record what we have from morning till night, what we are talking, let it be recorded. Then if you listen, you will know. Only talking about I and mine. Right? That's the
Prabhuji,
point.
that would be the most entertaining conversation ever.
Ever.
I do this, I done this, I want to
I
go
have done
there,
that.
I have this, and I don't know, everything my...
Plus expectation from others. Why are you not doing this? Why you? We expect others also to do the same thing what we do, right? And that is why expectation kills the devotion service. That is the slogan.
And another
The
thing,
moment you start
Prabhuji,
expecting, it's best.
we think that this body is ours. We are this body. But the fact that this body itself is not ours is a perishable thing, like the clothes that we are wearing. That itself is one, it'll be a huge shocker for a lot of people.
True. That's right. Whose property is his body, right? That is the question.
I and mine. So even if you say I, you're referring to the body and not Krishna, who's inside you.
True. That's what.
I remember you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember you saying in one other class that you are the soul talking through the body and not you talking through the body. That is a lot of us think that way, and that was reiterated again today in this class today. I'm really glad that you reminded us about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Very nice.
Also, that Shastra is that which rules the society. That is called Shastra.
Shasan, yes.
But that we are not able to accept that. Not we. Since we have come to this path, we are able to understand what is Shastra and all. But otherwise, it's something someone, somewhere, somebody has written at some time. Why I have to follow this? It is their own opinion, their own.
Correct. But they will be punished. Just like in the road, for a traffic signal. I don't care who is the prime minister. I don't care whom. I will just go. But you will be punished because the law acts. The prime minister does not have to come personally. His law is always there. So Krishna's law, material, the law is there. It will act on you in some way or the other. And he has the CIDs. You don't think that I'm doing something wrong and nobody is watching you. Krishna is the 12 CIDs are always there to watch you. Right? So Chitragupta is already pointing it down. Accordingly, goes to Krishna, which body to go. You heard about the pig's body, right? The training has to be given. Very powerful.
So it's like the penalty is what we get. No, the SMS comes. This is what your penalty. There is no SMS here straight.
No, SMS is there, but you don't realize.
Prabhuji, but Krishna consciousness helps us change the body that we have created up till now, right?
True, Mother. Yes. It becomes spiritual. The moment you're chanting, you're reciting, and you're hearing Bhagavatam, you're already spiritual body. Yeah, it is not now you're not in bodily conscious. You're spiritual conscious this 1 hour.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And plus when you're chanting and all. So if you forget your chanting back, don't worry. Your hand, you will not forget your hand. You can chant in your fingers also.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Here there is no lording it over to material nature. There is nothing is belong to us. Everything is belong to us. Yeah. That awareness, that's very important. Awareness that comes after after listening, reading, studying, chanting, and everything.
Bombarding. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Balaji Prabhu. Thank you very much. I think close now.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank